Hey family, it's your guy Chief. Welcome back to another episode of Sticks, Brims, and Stilettos. Listen, we know we haven't been around in a while because Philly and I have been working very hard on our upcoming Bourbon and Beyond Father's Day event in the park. So, you know what time it is. Grab your glasses and your sticks and let's get ready to smoke another hot topic. Listen, we missed the family, and we know that you missed the show. And Philly is not here with me this evening on this beautiful May evening, even though we got a little bit of May showers outside instead of May flowers. But anyway, Philly is on assignment, doing some promotional activities this evening for our Bourbon and Beyond. So let's talk about the Bourbon and Beyond real quick. So we have it coming to you Sunday, June 16th. From 12 to 6 p.m. at Firebase Lloyd, a beautiful picturesque park. What are we going to have? We're going to have wineries. We're going to have bourbon. We're going to have whiskey. We're going to have cigars. We're going to have live music performed by Best Kept Soul and one of the area's greatest DJs. Not to mention, the amazing Patty Jackson will be hosting our Bourbon and Beyond in the park. So come out and join Sticks, Brims, and Stilettos. Bring the special men in your lives. Ladies, you and your girlfriends can come hang out. This is for all adults. Come out and dance a little bit, party a little bit, and let's just think about the men in our lives. But more importantly, you'll be really supporting a cause that is near and dear to the hearts of both mine and Philly, and many of you out there in the audience. And so we'll be supporting the Living Beyond the Pain Cancer Foundation. That's right, Living Beyond the Pain Cancer Foundation. Proceeds from this event will go to support cancer research and that foundation. So again, we want to see you out there. Sticks, Brims, and Stilettos, first annual Bourbon and Beyond Father's Day event in the park, and that's in Townsend, Delaware. So on the screen, you'll see some more information about how you can get your tickets, and tickets are selling fast. So I recommend you get your tickets real soon. All right. So without further ado, listen, it's good to be back, yo. And there's been a lot going on since the last show that we did. So, you know, we talked about the bridge that went down in Baltimore, and unfortunately the men who lost their lives. We continue to keep their families in prayer. But there's just been a lot going on. I tell you, most recently, I know the buzz is around Pastor Keion Henderson and the situation that happened at his church, where I believe a lady was praising or, you know, making some, well, I'm just going to say from the churches I've gone to over my life, she was praising the Lord. She was, you know, she was screaming out, which is not uncommon in churches. But, you know, evidently the pastor had just about enough of this lady's praise in terms of how loud her voice was. And so what was captured on film was him shushing the lady. And then I believe he asked for someone to get her. So I believe, well, you know what? Why don't we just take a look at the clip and then we can come back and talk about it a little bit.
Hey. Yeah. Stop her. Hush. Silence in the name of Jesus.
Yeah, that's interesting. So, I mean, what are your thoughts? You know, you drop your thoughts in the comments. I just think it's very interesting. So evidently the pastor has received, you know, a lot of blowback for that particular incident, and for the way that he handled it. And the way that he spoke to the lady. So I want to get your thoughts on that. I tell you, I was reading some comments on social media, and one person commented that it was ironic because evidently, reportedly, this lady church member had been spoken to, and this has been an ongoing situation for some time. But somebody noted that the timing, and we have to pay attention to the timing of everything in today's society. I mean, we've always had to pay attention, but we have to pay attention more now than ever before. Why do we have to pay attention to timing? Because timing matters. Timing matters in our lives, period. But let me get to what the person said. They said that they thought it was ironic that the pastor chose to say something to silence the member of his church on Sunday, May 5th, and that the release of his wife's book was Tuesday, May 7th, and that by May 6th and 7th, they were on nationally syndicated television shows.
Welcome back. We are live. Our latest edition of our book club, Let's Get Lit. Basketball Wives executive producer Keion Henderson is here giving us a look at her first memoir, Undefeated, Changing the Rules and Winning on My Own Terms, which hits bookstores today.
So, again, there may be nothing to that timing, but we just live in a society where there are some folks who aren't paying attention to things, and there are some folks who are paying a lot of attention to things. And so, it could be, as the person stated in their comment, ironic. Hey, life has irony, right? There are plenty of ironies in life. But so that's just something to ponder for some people. Like, yeah, that is interesting that, for it to be said that this had been going on for a long time. They spoke to the woman in private, but the time that you speak to her publicly, where who knows how she took it once she realized, I'm sure she realizes now, that situation has made national media. I mean, it made it onto the Tamron Hall show.
Support him.
Can we meet him?
Oh, I would love to.
All right.
Yes.
Come on out, Tamron. Please welcome Pastor Keion Henderson back to the show. Come on out. Thank you so much. Have a sit down. I say welcome back to the show because you were on our show figuring out your faith,
That's right.
and I love that Shawnee said you do this great job of merging culture, meaning the world, with what happens within the confines of the church.
Yes, ma'am.
That's your mission. How did you go viral this weekend?
Oh my God! Oh, the noise.
Can I show it?
Yeah,
okay.
show it.
Let me play this moment. Let's play it.
Hey. Stop her. Hush.
So, the backstory was there was a woman, and you could hear her making
Right, a
audible.
nationally syndicated show. Who knows how this lady feels about that? And then there are all kinds of arguments on social media that the lady was doing it for attention. She was doing it to be disruptive or disturbing. But again, let's take an analysis of those statements. Let's say she was doing it for attention. Typically, people seek attention for a reason, right? So when people do attention-getting things, do we just simply dismiss it as, oh, they just want attention? Especially in the society we live in today, right? Let's just think about the society we live in today. Let's think about things that have been ignored, where we thought people were merely doing things for attention, and then what really happens in the aftermath. What happens? Sometimes we have these tragic events. What do people say? Oh, well, John Doe or Jane Doe, they had been acting out, but we just kind of chalked it up that that's just them or whatever the situation. When nobody paid attention to the fact that John Doe or Jane Doe might have been crying out on the inside, and those cries on the inside manifest themselves in behaviors on the outside. So I'm just saying, I don't want to go too deep down the rabbit hole, but there are just lots of things that could be extrapolated from this whole situation. There are lots of things that we can pull from this situation and from the comments of some of the people on social media. Some of the comments are mean-spirited because, again, that's the world we live in, right? There are a lot of, I'm going to call them miserable, mean people, because when all you have to say is something mean and mean-spirited, then to me, that's kind of a reflection of your own life, right? Because happy people typically don't constantly spew mean-spirited things. Now, we all can have an aberration, and get upset about something. But if you're one of these type of people that are pessimistic about everything, anything and everything, then to me, that's a sign of misery. And we all know the old cliche, misery loves company. So I don't know. Now, I tell you what's interesting. I don't know if we've heard from the church member. We've heard from the pastor and his wife because they've been given a platform. They've been given a platform on media, right? So the pastor did admonish her, right? He admonished her publicly. But then the pastor's also been given the opportunity to go nationally and justify and explain why he admonished this person. We're still dealing with another human being here, right? That's not lost on me. We're still dealing with another human being. And whether that other human being was right or wrong, whether it can be argued that they were seeking attention, whatever, we're still dealing with another person. Has that member been afforded an opportunity and a platform to talk about her actions, to talk about, whatever she wants to talk about the feelings that she gets when she's in church? We don't know. I love to hear from the church member, and she was up on the stage with him, I believe, as a member of the choir. So when somebody is entrenched in your church to the point that they are a member of anything, whether they're on the usher board, whether or not, they're on the executive board committee, whether or not they're in your choir and you have stewardship over them, that means that this isn't some stranger that just walked in off the street. I think we're all clear on that. But I really would like to, I don't know about anybody else, but I like to hear from the church member, right? Because we've heard the pastor in his own voice on two platforms. One, publicly, as the service was being streamed from his church. And then he and his wife were afforded another platform on national media. And let's go back to the fact that the timing of it all. You say that these things have happened and you've spoken to this person in private. On the day that you choose to admonish the church member in public, 48 hours later, your wife is due to have a book released. And so, and then within a 48-hour span, you get major press. You get major media. Right? Now, all I'm stating are facts, unless somebody out there has different facts. And if you do, share them. Share if you have different, if her book wasn't released, if it didn't happen on that date that he admonished the woman, if my dates are mixed up, if he wasn't on national media during those times and dates, then hey, if I stand corrected, I stand corrected. So anyway, moving on. So let's talk about the pastor's wife, Shawnee, a little bit, because she did drop a book. I think that one of the passages that I read, not in the book, but again, just via social media, right? Because everything is social media today. Even the news, even the regular news, right? It's social media. It's all social media. So whether you're getting it from, Fox, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, whether or not you're getting it from Facebook, Instagram. See, the thing that has happened today is the walls have been torn down around what's so-called the fourth estate, right? Which is the media, because it's been said for years that the media has been able to control what we see, what we don't see, what we hear, what we don't hear. It's been said that the media is able to manipulate, right, what it wants us to believe or not believe. Well, those walls kind of came down slightly with the advent of social media, right? Because MSNBC can't stop me from doing this show and reaching my audience, nor can it do that with other podcasters. Now, could channels be shut down? Of course they can, right? But it has a much longer reach now. So let me get back to my original thought. So one of the passages evidently in Shawnee Henderson's book is a passage where she says she's not even sure if she ever loved Shaquille O'Neal. I think Shaquille O'Neal responded to that with the highest level of dignity and grace. And I think he responded to it in a way that said a lot. It was 2 sentences or 1 sentence. He said a lot. And he used very few words to say it. And it was very powerful. And it really sucked the air out of whatever she may have been trying to say in that statement. And so again, she says in the statement, she's not sure if she ever really loved him. His response was, and I paraphrase, I understand. I probably would not have loved me back then either, or something to that effect. Basically, what he was saying is, listen, the way that I was moving at that time, during that time period, I probably would have found it hard to love me too, if I was, a person outside of myself. And so I thought that his response was very dignified. It didn't take any shots at her. In fact, in a very passive yet also subtle way, he gave it right back to her by being in agreement. Now, here's what I would say. Even if that's her truth, they have children together. And I don't know how much value it brings to your family structure, right? Whether it be your immediate family or your extended family, because by extension, her and Shaquille O'Neal have familial ties. What does that really do for your children when you publish? For the sake of publishing a book, for the sake of monetary gain and monetary value, what does that really do, and what does that really say to your children, right? When you publish that you don't really know if you ever really love their father. What does that say to them about relationships? What does that say to them about why you may have entered into the relationship? And I don't know what it says. I'm asking, right? So you can put your comments. I don't know what it says, but I'm asking, right? Or does it say anything? Does it say anything? And, think about your own situation, right? And we all come from different situations, right? So what's my message as a young man if I'm 16 or 17, or a young lady that's 23, 24? What if that's my dad, that's my mom, and these are the statements that are being published for the world to see? I'm a byproduct. I'm a direct product of that union, that relationship. And so, these are just things to think about. When people put themselves out for public consumption, and it depends on why you put yourself out. Hey, you may not care. All you may care about is whether or not you hit the New York Times bestseller list. You may just care about what those dollars and cents say. You may not care about whether or not any emotional carnage is left in the wake of your actions. You may not care how this may impact, others who are connected to you at the end of the day when they're by themselves and they're alone, what they may have heard, what they may have been subjected to. You may not care, right? Because we increasingly live in a world that is about what? The dollar, right? And we all have to have a living. We all have to make some money, right? And you want to make money because it impacts your quality of life, and you want to have a decent quality of life. But to what end do you want to provide a decent quality of life? To what end, right? To what sacrifice? So anyway, I thought all that was interesting. So I just wanted to spend this show because that kind of stood out to me, the whole thing that happened with the church member. Hey, if you're listening out there and you know the church member, we'd love to have her on Sticks, Brims, and Stilettos to talk about what her experience was, because we experienced something. We observed it. Even if you don't belong to that church, even if you don't tune in, which Philly does tune in to that church. But it was an experience for everyone. Even those of us who viewed it, it was definitely an experience for the members on the stage with the pastor. The pastor had the opportunity to explain his experience with her actions. And maybe she has spoken and I just haven't captured it in my viewing. But if she hasn't and you know her, tell her Chief and Philly would love to have her on. We can stream it, we can have an interview, and we can talk about it. And give her a platform, not for messiness, but to provide her view, to provide her experience, right? Who knows? Who knows what she has to say? So anyway, with that being said, don't forget, Sunday, June 16th, meet us for Bourbon and Beyond in the Park, a Father's Day event, live music, DJ, food trucks, vendors, sangria, bourbon, dancing, you name it, we're going to have it. So come on out. We want to thank our sponsor, or one of our sponsors, Cigar Sessions in Middletown, Delaware. If you've never been to Cigar Sessions, you have to check it out. I'm talking about a full bar with a complement of every type of spirited beverage that you may that may suit your palate. You're talking about one of the best humidors in the region at Cigar Sessions in Middletown, Delaware. So Google it, check it out. Go to their Facebook page and check them out. You're really looking for a lounge, and if you're looking for a home lounge to become a member of, check out Cigar Sessions. All right, and tell them Sticks, Brims, and Stilettos sent you. As our shows that lead up to our Father's Day event, we'll be recognizing some of our other sponsors and our supporters because we're going to make this a great Father's Day event. So men, we can get away from those typical yearly neckties and pairs of socks or what have you, and come on out and enjoy yourself and relax and bring your tents and your chairs and have a good time at Bourbon and Beyond in the Park. So without further ado, remember, if you know the sister at the church, tell her to holler at us, and if she wants to come on and talk about that experience. And also Pastor Keion Henderson, he can come on. We love to have him on as well, right? Great man of God or what have you, and he's already been on a few platforms. Hey, we love to have him on our platform as well, right? Everybody's invited to the chair here on Sticks, Brims, and Stilettos. With that, have a wonderful Friday, tomorrow, and a fantastic weekend. Peace.